Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Practice English Daily. I'm really happy to have you here today.
If you are someone who wants to improve your English, step by step, day by day, then this channel is made especially for you.
Learning English is not just about grammar. It's not just about vocabulary. It's about building a new way of thinking. And that's exactly what we're going to focus on today.
But before we begin, take a second, just 1 second, to support the channel. Don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and share it with your friends who are also learning English.
Now, let me ask you something. Have you ever tried to speak English, but you feel stuck? You know the words you understand a little, but when it's time to speak, your mind becomes slow.
Maybe you start a sentence, and then you stop. Maybe you repeat the same words again and again. Maybe you feel like your brain is blocked.
And sometimes, it's not because you don't know English. It's because your brain is working too hard. You are trying to be perfect.
You are trying to translate everything. You are trying to build the perfect sentence before you even speak. And that creates pressure. And when there is pressure, there is no flow.
Let me tell you something important. Fluency is not about perfection. Fluency is about flow.
When you speak naturally, you don't think about every word. You don't analyze every sentence. You just speak.
And that's exactly the skill we want to build. Now, imagine this. Imagine you can understand English and answer immediately.
Imagine you can speak without stopping, without translating, without stress. That is possible.
And the good news is, you don't need to be advanced. You can start today with simple steps. So take a deep breath. Relax, slow down, and let's train your brain together. Let's begin.
Hey, Sarah. I think this is one of the biggest challenges that English learners face, especially when they are trying to move from understanding English to actually speaking it in real-life situations. Because even if they know many words, they still feel slow and blocked.
Absolutely, Alex. And what's interesting is that many learners don't even realize that the real problem is not their level of English. It's the habit of translating everything in their mind before they speak. And that makes the whole process slower, more stressful, and sometimes frustrating.
Yeah, that's so true. And I've noticed that when people translate, they often lose confidence because they feel like they are always behind in the conversation.
Yes, exactly. And that feeling of being behind creates pressure. And when there is pressure, the brain doesn't work smoothly. So instead of speaking naturally, the person starts overthinking every single word.
So, Sarah, if someone wants to stop translating, what is the first thing they should focus on in their daily practices?
The first and most important step is awareness, because you cannot change a habit if you don't notice it. So learners need to start paying attention to their thinking processes and ask themselves slowly, am I translating right now, or am I thinking directly in English?
That's actually very powerful. Because sometimes people are translating automatically without even noticing it.
Exactly, yes. And once you become aware of that habit, you can slowly start changing it, step by step, by choosing simpler ways to express your ideas.
Like that idea of simplicity. Because I think many learners believe that speaking good English means using difficult words.
Yes, that's very true. But in real life, even native speakers use simple, clear language. And the goal is not to impress people. It's to communicate in a natural, comfortable way.
Yeah, that makes so much sense. So instead of saying something very complex, it's better to say something short, clear, and natural.
Exactly. Because when you simplify your language, you reduce the time your brain needs to think. And that helps you respond faster, more naturally, and with confidence.
Let's talk about a situation where someone doesn't know a word. What should they do in that moment?
That's a great question. And honestly, this is where creativity becomes very important. If you don't know a word, don't stop, don't panic. Just describe it.
Describe it.
Yes, exactly. Use the words you already know and explain your idea in a different, simple way.
Wow, I really like that idea. Because it means you don't need to know every word to keep speaking.
Exactly. Fluency is not about knowing everything. It's about using what you already know in a smart and simple way.
So, would you say that consistency is more important than perfection?
100% yes. Because when you practice a little every day, your brain starts adapting naturally. But when you wait to be perfect, you actually slow down your progress.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's like building a habit, right?
Exactly. Like building a habit. And habits are created through repetition, not perfection.
So, what would be a simple daily exercise that learners can start using today?
A very simple one is this. Every day, choose a topic, something simple like your day, your plans, or your feelings. And then speak about it for 1 minute without stopping, without translating, and without worrying about mistakes.
Only 1 minute?
Yes, only 1 minute. Because the goal is not to be perfect. The goal is to train your brain to respond quickly.
I like that. It sounds easy to start and not scary at all.
Exactly. When something feels easy, you are more likely to stay consistent. Listening is very important. Because before you speak well, your brain needs to hear English many times, Min. It helps you get used to the rhythm, the sounds, and the natural flow of the language.
So it's like training your ears first.
Exactly. You train your ears, then your brain, and then your mouth follows.
That actually sounds like a system.
It is a system. And the good thing is, anyone can follow it.
So, if you are listening right now, you don't need to feel stressed anymore.
Yes, take it slow. Be patient with yourself. And trust the process.
Because step by step, day by day, you are getting better.
And one day, you will realize that speaking English feels natural, easy, and comfortable.
So, let's take a moment to summarize everything. Fluency is not about perfection. It's about flow. You don't need to know everything. You just need to use what you know with confidence. Stop translating every word and start thinking in simple English. Practice a little every day, even for 1 minute, and focus on speaking naturally. And remember, mistakes are not a problem. They are part of the process.
Thank you so much for spending this time with us today on Practice English Daily. Remember, learning English is not about being perfect. It's about practicing, making mistakes, and improving every single day. Start small, think simple, go slow, and most importantly,
Keep going. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. See you in the next video.
bye everyone.